Hagsy, Gonzo, Ratty, and Chafe. What do you like about that combination of guys in the power play?
Well, preseason games are, first of all, it's there's different levels of players and what they're trying to get out of games, and Tony and Hags hadn't played a preseason game yet, so part of them was just getting them a few reps and timing and stuff like that down. It's I don't like when there's portions to it you like working on special teams and stuff like that, but you want to see some of the other players too, and when that happens, you don't get to see them, so it's kind of a double-edged sword. But our quote-unquote number one power play is pretty much set, so you kind of get a vibe for your second unit, and it's kind of how we've set these games up, is to have units together and see how they work. So as things will start amping up here now in these last three games, but these first four, it's more or less taking a look at a lot of the young guys and see how they've progressed, and given quote unquote your vets one game, and then we'll wrap it up in the last three.
I know you plan on making cuts ahead of Monday's practice, but like the decisions, are they a little bit harder than maybe you would have thought, and maybe more difficult than maybe years past because of what some of these guys have shown?
Well, they're always hard, regardless, and naturally they get harder as the regular season opening day approaches. So I just think with this group, if I was gonna sum up the first four games of camp, is I'm not going to read anything into the scores and stuff like that, but it is always nice to be on the winning side of it. But the compete level of the group, I said this the other night, has been exceptional, and it's they've been a joy to be around the guys and watch them play as hard as they have been, and ultimately, when you're winning games, you're doing something right. And so from the goalies all the way out, I think we've really had a really kind of good look at what we have in our organization. And so when the guys are given everything, and you have to go in and tell them, you have to go to another team for a while, but they should be good conversations because players are progressing, and I think there should be a light at the end of the tunnel for some of these kids.
Another strong night for both guys that took the net for you guys. What have you seen in this camp from your group of goalies?
Everyone's given us a chance to win. That's why we're winning the games. Is our goaltenders have been kicking them out. Especially that game one when JJ played against Carolina, he was exceptional, and I thought all our goalies have been great. And even Manigan, the poor kid, he gave up a couple, but put that more on guys in front of him than him. So it's it's another good asset too, is when you can sit back and look and say, hey, we've got some goaltenders here. That's great.
Can winning habits in preseason carry over, whether it's organizationally wise?
That's what training camp is for. It's to build your habits, and there's we have a standard of how we play here, and these guys have lived up to it. And they're if this is how the way the boys are going to compete, we'll the rest of it's going to come. But like I said, this is where it all starts to build.
JF's kind of carved out a nice niche with you guys over the last couple of seasons.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need to see from him kind of as we get closer to the regular season? How can he kind of take that, that next step?
He's taken a step. The one thing about Chafe, he's a right-handed shot, which we don't have a ton, and it's heavy, and so when he starts finding the back of the net, that's be a big plus for all of us. But he's one of those kids. He's heavy, and it's hard to bump him off pucks. It's hard to, he can have his way around the ice. He can have his way around the corners, and so that can wear on teams. And he needs to, keep doing that.
Yeah.